everybody. Welcome back to the Bullhucker podcast. I'm Moose Lundstrom.
And I'm Josh Finley.
What's up, Josh Finley?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing okay, man. I got an apology to make here to everybody. This is the first podcast we've had in a couple of weeks. I was very proud of the fact I haven't missed one since 2020. Other than the end of the year, we always take a week off for the holidays, you know.
Right.
But I hadn't missed. But life caught up to me, though. Everything's going cool with me. Just very busy with a lot of stuff going on. Great direction to go and stuff. But I missed a lot of episodes. A lot of people on the street or I saw were like, "Hey, where's my episode?" I'm like, "I'm sorry. I'm trying. You know, don't
people in the street,
not people
out in the street."
Yeah, that's what it is. But we're back. Got some people lined up, and we're gonna have a great time.
Hell yeah!
We have a very special guest. It's a reoccurring guest. They're coming back for their second run at the Bullhucker, but it's a special guest because it's actually the owner of the building we're sitting in right now. Gilbert Leake, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing amazing, my man.
Good.
Thank you. We always thank you every episode for this. You and Dana and Dan and Mr.
Tom.
I knew I get Tom's name. I never see Tom.
Mr. Bill. Tom, Ed.
Tom's the guy who walks in and fixes everything and walks out, right?
Yep.
You never see Tom. But the four people that own this building have been so generous, so amazing. Letting me have this down here, a place to have our podcast, man. They've been so understanding and very supportive. So that's this
awesome.
guy right here.
Thank you very much.
The rest of them are cowards that won't come back on right now. So that's what's happening right there. I'm issuing a challenge, you other three. So anyway, before we go any further, I do want to say, if you're new to this podcast, welcome to the Bullhucker podcast. What we do on this podcast is bring on a guest. Today's Gilbert Leake. What Gilbert's going to do is tell us 3 stories about his life. Now, here's the kicker. Only 2 of these stories are true. One's either borrowed, fully made up, or it's an embellished story. And at the end of the podcast, my man Josh Finley, the Josh Finley.
The one and only.
The one and only, are going to try and guess which one it is. Now, here's a spoiler. We're probably going to miss it because we're not great at this.
My track record's not real good at all, no. I'm probably batting like 200 at best.
I mean, I don't really know baseball, but probably less than that. I don't even know. But it's I have my hot streaks. We all go through our hot streaks, but then, I don't know. It's and maybe Gilbert's a great liar. I think you got me last time. You did get me last time.
I didn't get at him, though.
You didn't get at him because I think
it's hard to get both.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's hard to get both.
Yeah, but every now and again, there's Adam's cynical ass who fucking know, you know. So anyway, Gilbert, you want to start off? You want to tell some stories?
Sure, why not?
You want to do it? You want to read those off first, Joshua?
Yep, let's see what we got here. We have dry land surfing, prize fish, and hospital insulin. Insulin, right? I said that right? Okay.
All right, Josh, you're the man. You pick one out, brother.
Man, I'm all for dry land surfing. Let me hear that story.
Dry land surfing.
All right. Well, this is going to go back a little ways, but you guys familiar with Fort Ram up in Fort Collins?
Yeah.
Back in the day, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were pretty frequent visitors to it, and it wasn't something that I just, you know, you have to have a few of those Long Island iced teas if you know what I'm talking about to get it. But our challenge was we would always go around the bars. They had the 5 bars in the octagons,
right?
You know, and then drink a Long Island iced tea before you get to the next one.
Oh man!
And then that was your challenge, and if you could make it to it, then they 10 o'clock or whatever time they just start the music, and it's just lights out partying and dancing. And
I gotta ask you a quick question now. I've bartended for a long time. Are these from scratch Long Islands, or are they just the mix? They're from scratch. It's the 5 white liquors with a little Coke and a little bit of...
I don't know if I've ever made all 5, but but by the time I got to like the 3rd one, the music was going, and I forgot about the other 2. But 3 of them is pretty good. Yeah. So, you know, we'd spend our evening, you know, closing down Fort Ram and whatnot. But we weren't probably the smartest about any decisions we made, but we still did. And so anyway, me and my buddies and our friends, you know, we go back to a friend's house in Loveland after Fort closing down. But I'm gung-ho. I'm not ready to just stop. And I'm 23 maybe, so I'm bulletproof, you know, and we're in a pickup, and I'm like, I wonder. So I just open up the sliding glass door in the back, you know, and I'm like, it's so hot, and I'm trying to get everybody just to buy into this. Yeah, it's hot, and then I just climbed out.
Right.
Oh,
that wasn't the end of it. We're on I-25 heading towards Loveland.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't it. The where it kind of got interesting is when I climbed up on top of the cab and I told nobody to slow down, and the driver's like sober, and he says I can't make any decisions when I'm not doing anything, because if I do, he's going to wipe out.
Right.
And I sat on the windshield in the cab, and I sat there and rode the pickup all the way down to 34, and then got back into the cab. And then they shut the window and they wouldn't let me get back out. So,
Oh, you think so?
yeah,
That's a long way. That's a long way.
that was quite a trip. So,
And this is like 2 a.m?
yeah, 2:30, something like that.
So it's the drunk hour where they're looking for this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like,
But what deemed it was the second time when we were in Brush, and we're going to Fort Morgan, and we did close down the 5 bars down here in Brush, and probably not the proudest moments for me as a, somebody that feels like he grew up a little bit, but I was young. So my buddy's driving, because I'm obviously too intoxicated. So
Yeah.
I roll down my window on the passenger side in a little white S10 Chevy pickup.
right.
Climb out, and I just sat there and surfed on the windshield in the cab of the pickup. And my buddy, he just said I was stone cold, 100% focused on driving and being a good driver. And
Right.
he says, I was just so surprised when you climbed back in, and I had to get back into the pickup because the song that was on I didn't like, so I changed the radio and got back out.
You couldn't just hit that on the phone and back in the day, could
yeah,
you?
but
You could just switch it there, back in my pocket.
You had to get in and change.
To really change the channel.
On your little Apple Watch, you just kind of.
Yeah. Oh, skip. No, not today.
Yeah.
What was the song you didn't like?
It was, it was by Heart, I believe. I can't remember. Oh my gosh, which one was it?
Something about love and a guy who burned him.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
can't. It was not my favorite song, and it was loud enough. I heard it. I just didn't like it, and it wasn't what I wanted
Can't
to hear
surf
at
to that,
time.
man. It's not going to happen.
So anyway, my buddy was like, "You're just fucking nuts." I'm like, "Well, no, I'm drunk, but probably." So we're getting into where. Well, it wasn't Walmart at the time, but right at that exit, and I'm like, "All right, here we go. I'm feeling it." So I'm sitting on the back on the top of the cab, and I just roll on my back and flip into the cab the bed of the pickup. Oh. Missed a little bit. I caught the edge of the bed, one leg in, one leg out, and I pretty much sobered up right after that.
Did you straddle it?
Yes.
The boys get hit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Don't remember that, but I do remember that. I had a little more panic in my life, and that was the last time I dryland surfed.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had a buddy, Norm Schneider, who used to do that.
Oh.
They ever done I-25 or a public road?
Oh.
They'd go down like country roads down here.
That's, yeah.
Their favorite one is like, it's T.5. The one that goes, if you go up to Love's and then take a left at that little white house,
Yes.
that road right there.
Yep.
And then down by the dump is where we go. But man, he would,
Yeah.
yeah, it was nuts, man. It's,
Yeah. Well, from that moment on, I was never allowed to be near a window or in the back seat of a pickup. Yeah. So, but everybody that there was 2 cars in the Fort Ram incident, and just me and my buddy in the Fort Morgan, the brushed one, and the only one I really truly was scared was Fort Morgan to Brush, or Brush to Fort Morgan. Yeah, that's the one that kind of opened my eyes a little bit.
Like, yep.
but I'm way too much of an anxious person to ever let. I remember Norm doing it, but I was like his mother. I was just worried about it. It's like, what's he doing? You gotta stop him, I mean,
Yeah.
Norm had no fear either, man. I'm just name dropping, by the way, Norm. What's up, Norm Schneider, you crazy son of a bitch?
Norm!
Yeah, like Teen Wolf, you kind of like, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. I didn't stand up. I sat down. I was.
But still.
You were responsible.
I was at
you were
least
very
logical.
responsible.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
Man.
fine.
So back in high school, we used to have a road between Eaton and Gailton. It's maybe like 9 miles or something. And my buddy had an 80-something CJ5. Ooh. And so we would go down. It might be the 70s. I don't know. Either. Doesn't matter. But it essentially on the outside there was just the little hoop step about this big on the doors where you could get in. You had the roll bar, and then on the front there was the 2 hooks where the window when you laid it down. You could lay the window there. So what we would do same situation. We'd leave Eaton, and as soon as we got just past the 4-way stop, which is like a mile outside of town, it was a race to see who could get out of the Jeep and climb all the way around the Jeep and get back in your seat. So as soon as you got back in your seat, you tapped off to the next guy. And I mean, we're talking, you had to put your feet on the front bumper. You're holding on to the front hooks. You come back over the fender. You put your foot on the deal. You grab the windshield and the roll bar, and then swing back in. The real trick was when the driver got out, and we had to switch seats with the driver. And get him and come back around. And we did that all the time. Yeah. Never thought nothing of it. Not a thing.
You said it. When you're that age, you're bulletproof. You have no fear.
Yeah, I honestly never did remember being scared.
Really?
Nope, never. No, it just when I hit the bed of the pickup and my leg went, I'm like, oh, that road's going really fast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And, I said this on this podcast constantly. So many stories like this. Lucky you are to be alive.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Honestly.
Yeah.
That you're not in a wheelchair or something, because, I mean, that's so crazy. How grateful are you that cell phones didn't exist back then? To videotape this shit.
More than I can even
Yes.
Yeah. There's so many there's so many stories that most of us won't tell because we're gonna out the wrong people.
Yeah. See, I think I make enemies on this podcast because I name drop all my friends.
Yeah.
I said, they know
that time you did this?
Yeah. I don't think half of them even enjoy the podcast. They just want to see if I'm going to throw them under the bus. That's all it is.
Yeah.
They're like, is the content's shit, but
right.
I think that some bitch is going to tell a story about the time with the girl and the,
Oh, man. Do you remember what the Fort Ram was called after? Do you remember what I'm trying to remember the name, but in 2000, it was the year 2000. Remember they had the Y2K deal or whatever. Well, me and my buddy and it was my wife and his girlfriend. We went there, but it wasn't Fort Ram at the time. I can't remember what name it was, but we go there, and my buddy had a little Colombian Bam Bam. we disappear off of the bathrooms are upstairs. We go upstairs. We go in. We come back out.
Coffee? You're talking about coffee?
Coffee, yes.
Okay.
Folgers. Yeah. Wakes you up.
White coffee? Yeah.
The imported.
And so we leave the bathroom, but at that time the whole upstairs was mirrored. And so we're walking, and I don't remember. I wish I could remember the name of the club because it was only there for a couple of years. But we're walking along that railing. Man, I'm feeling like $1 million. Never once did I see myself walking right into the mirror. Like I looked at my reflection. I'm just walking down the deal, and the deal turned, and he kept going, and bam! My nose, some white powder, and some sweat were on the mirror. I was like, oh no, this is not good.
So you left illegal drugs and DNA on the mirror.
Oh yeah,
That's always good.
Good thing you didn't get in a fight with the guy that you ran into.
That's no kidding.
Well, yeah, exactly. I might have. You never know.
I went to the Fort Ram once, I think, because I was in Pueblo by that time. You know? So I came back, and we used to, a couple times in Greeley, that one by the mall.
Cactus Canyon.
Cactus Canyon.
Cocktease Canyon.
Yeah,
that's what I call it.
No, really, that was I worked in a Pueblo. I worked in a bar in Pueblo, a nightclub for years. So I wasn't big on nightclubs on my day off. You know what I mean? So I always preferred like hole in the wall bars and a sports bar. You know what I mean? But the clubs are it's a crazy scene, man.
Yeah,
it's rough.
Oh man,
it's nuts. Yeah, what do you think about that one, Josh?
I like it, man. I can see myself doing it.
Yeah.
So I like that story. I think I don't think that's the Hucker.
You don't think so?
Nah, I don't think so.
I don't know. I'm decided out here to listen to another one, but once again, no cell phone cameras, but. Just imagine if the cops had the cameras all over. I mean, just watching you. I mean, that's hard to explain to a judge.
Right.
You know, I mean.
Well, and who was I don't even remember when the last episode we were on, there was a gentleman there with the sheriff's department, and they said one of the old boys that was retired that it was who pulled him over or whatever. He's probably sitting in between the towns and just watching you go.
He's like, that's not worth pulling over.
That's that goddamn Leake boy. Don't worry about it. He'll be dead in a month.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, by all accounts, I should have been, but
yeah. By the grace of God, you're here, brother.
Oh man,
yep.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
That was a great story. I like it. That's a small town kid story.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, absolutely.
That's what that is, you know.
Yeah.
They don't do that on federal.
No. No. They shoot at the kid. On the, you know, you got shot at. They target practice, but you know, and kudos to your buddy. You don't want to call him out, I'm sure, but
Greg Bears is one of them.
Oh,
right, Greg Bears.
He was
Haley, Greg, how you doing?
That dude shows up
brother.
on this podcast more than he probably likes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Funny. Well, then it makes sense why nobody stopped. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't do the one. He was with me in the Fort Ram one as well, but he didn't drive.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Jerry Cage wasn't there, was he?
Gosh.
No, Jerry wasn't on that one.
Okay.
No.
Because I know he ran a cahoots with you fuckers too.
Yeah.
So, all right, that was dry land surfing. Once again, I had a buddy that did it, so that's an anxious moment if you're not. If one of your buddies is there, because we're all selfish people. Like, he falls off, now I got to sit and deal with this shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I ain't wiping your ass later, bud. That's going to happen.
That's why you're friends for life,
That's right. That's right. All right, we got 2 left. We got prize fish and hospital insulin. There's always one I want to hear the most, but we'll save it till last. So instead, let's listen to prize fish.
Oh. Okay. All right. So, gosh, this is going to go back to 1988. Yeah. And so we had an uncle that was hit by a guy in Fort Morgan, and his daughter lived in California, so they took him out there, and me and 2 of my brothers and my buddy, we were like, let's take a road trip, let's go out there and see him. And we're making, it's summer, we're making that's 4 teenage boys, let's go out and experience some of the world. And we stopped tons of places along our way, Ghost Town, and we did this, and we get to California, and my brother and I are big fishermen, but my brother's far more than me. But we're like, Irvine, California has Irvine Lakes, and they have some of the most prized fishing. Where when you go in there, you got to sign up, and then you get a little boat, you go out, and they tag these fish with different prizes, and
okay,
yeah, and so and some of them are. TV, some of them are $50 cash. I mean, it's just, you got to catch a tagged fish and you get your prize. But, so we're like, okay, let's do it. It's $25, like a little pricey back then, but it's, you get the boat. So me and my friend Corey, which ironically, he was in one of my stories from the last time. So
which one's that?
The Bon Jovi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But him and I run one boat, my brother and my 2 other brothers were in the other one, and we're just going to go out, let's go fishing, let's go catch some fish. And fish stories are always so great because it's like, and that or quantities. I mean, I've been out to North Sterling, and I've caught drums, and I've caught walleye, and I've caught 10 fish, and they were all different species. It's just kind of random and like that. So out here, I'm going for bass, and I'm going for what was the other one? The deep water, like the channel cats. Okay. And so anyway, we're out there, and we're fishing, and not a lot of luck at the beginning, and Corey and I are. We're just like, let's go over here and try, and we come up to a sandbar, and it's like, no, Corey's driving. I said, don't get the motor too close because we're going to get, high-centered, if you will. And God damn, we did. Out there in the middle of this freaking lake. And so we're like, I'm panicking a little bit because I don't want to be out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm in California with my other 2 brothers who have no idea where they're at. Right. And so finally, we're able to shake, and it took about an hour to get out of it. It was kind of a pain in the ass, so I don't suggest that to anybody. But anyway, it's a flat bottom boat, so it's like, there's nothing to help you other than it's a flat bottom. But it still took us a while to get out. So anyway, we got some wind coming up, and we go in this cove, and I want to say it was probably about 2:00. So I wasn't expecting anything then. It was, and the tournament ends at 5. Right. So we're like, we got to get something going. And so we go around this cove, and it's shaded. There's these trees that just shade that area. I'm like, ooh, maybe we'll have some luck. And I threw my line and instantly caught a trout. Might have been a rainbow, I believe. It's been long enough that I can't remember all but it maybe 14-inch, not humongous, but a good sized trout. Like, ooh, that's keeper, No tag though. And I'm like, shit, we're not gonna have. I mean, I start thinking about this big ass lake, and how many tags. Right. No. Well, second fish I catch, boom, tagged, $10. Like, ooh, all right. So maybe this isn't as bad as I thought.
Yeah.
Let me get my registration, back and whatnot. And so here we are. We're fishing and we're catching, a few fish here, and we see some boats coming over, and like, oh man, and it's big enough you can get in more than I'm starting to get a little frustrated because I'm feeling like some of these fish are here because of the cove that we were in. And my brother is one of those boats coming in there, and I'm like, if anybody's going to catch something, it's going to be him. And oh God, 20 minutes after he pulled in there, he just starts screaming, and I was kind of pissed because I'm like, yeah, he probably got the TV, or there was a gun, there's a couple other things. Big guy, nope, he got a freaking checkered flag.
Oh.
I'm like, son of a bitch, that's what I've been after all day.
Right.
And I thought he was going to tip the boat over. He was screaming, and my other brother was like freaking out.
Right.
I'm like, what? We get over there, and he goes, "We're done. Let's go." All right. And he wouldn't tell me because I would have probably thrown him off the boat and taken. So we get there and pull up, and the dock guys are, they want to see all our catches and stuff, and I show him mine, and my brother comes out, and he's got this grin, just so big. And my brother is actually 18,
right.
No, he's 20, because he's 4 years older than me at the time. And he pulls out that checkered fish, and the guy with the bullhorn, he just, in the tournament, and it's over, and whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, I couldn't remember exactly because it's part of the purse of the winnings. So you get everybody that enters, that money goes into the, whoever catches the checker flag fish,
right.
tagged fish, and $2,500.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh!
I'm like, I wished it was mine, but no.
Right.
But so I'm like, holy shit, I was like maybe 1,000 or something. It would be there were so many people in this tournament.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, that's great. Now we can do all kinds of things in California.
How old? What year is this?
1988.
Shit, $2,500.
That's a lot of money, brother.
Yeah, there was a lot.
That's a down payment on a house in
Oh,
1988.
yeah,
man.
it is for sure.
Honestly,
his Chevelle needed tires so bad that
wow.
I was like, I think that's going to be first thing you're doing is spending $400 and getting tires on that car.
$400.
Yeah.
no, I said first thing you're gonna do is buy us a steak dinner.
Yeah.
We're gonna eat that checkered ass fish.
Yes, we are. And some beer.
And we're getting
wash
drunk,
it down.
and then whatever you have left, you can. Yeah, absolutely.
So, but so it turned out to be a really good trip for us.
Yeah.
'Cause, after that, he took us to Disneyland. We we went and seen my uncle, my Aunt Rose, or his daughter Rose, and it turned out to be really cool and whatnot. But the bitter thing about me was I would have caught it. I knew I would have if my brother wasn't there. But
Yeah.
the same with golf. His hole in ones, and I'm like, I'm not even gonna. It's like, but his name's up in golf courses down there in Florida where he lives because he gets the hole in ones.
He's a stud at it.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
But
Just a lucky bastard.
yeah, that's all it's just lucky, I guess.
Well, I don't know. You're surfing on cars and didn't die, so I'd say maybe
Well, there's-
luck is the
runs
lake
in the
thing.
family.
There is that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we that prize fish, man. I just that will never. I was going to use this story the last time, but I was like, no, I wanted to use the Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Because I was like, no, I got to get something about my sister in there, and
Yeah.
But no, this time my brother was the winner on this one.
What's your brother's name?
Tim.
What's up, Tim? Shout out, Mr. Lake.
So
I'll take $2,500 if he's still got it.
Yeah, that's it.
no,
Honestly, I mean, inflation.
Yeah.
What is $2,500
Oh, that's
nowadays?
huge. Oh my God. that's-
nowadays probably 15
I
grand.
was
Yeah.
gonna say easily. Yeah.
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 10
Yeah,
grand easily.
Because I was making, I was probably making $400 every 2 weeks back then.
You know, it's funny. You and I just had this conversation
we
with
did.
your teenage daughter upstairs.
Yeah.
Well, she's not teenage. She's 20s.
She is 22.
22 now, but we were discussing about our first jobs and how much money we made at our first jobs. Mr. Finley, what was your pay at your first job?
$4. Well, my first actual taxable job
Yes.
was $4.25 an hour.
Yeah, that must have been past 95 then.
It was,
wait,
I was way before. I was
93.
about 92, 93.
Yeah.
Because I was, my sister was, she was a senior while I was a freshman, and she got a job at the Armadillo in LaSalle.
Oh.
And so she was the waitress, and so she got me in as a busser. And so I was bussing tables at, 15, 14, whatever it was. Yeah. Actually, excuse me, I should take it back. I was actually a newspaper carrier for the Greeley Tribune, and that was even less because you had to collect. Like, they would send us door to door to collect for the paper, and nobody paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, well, I'll see you Tuesday. No, you never did. And so you had to pay your papers off, and then whatever was on top of that was your profit. So if somebody stiffed you,
You're done.
You're done.
Yeah.
So I was like, and I did that 7 days a week, rain, shine, sun, everything. But that was, I probably made a month. I probably made $400, maybe.
Really?
Delivering papers.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh.
My friends' family used to do that. They used to do a bunch of papers. They used to do it as a family thing, but they covered a lot of towns. So, yeah. That's crazy.
Well, and if you actually can get paid, like if it was like it is now, where it's a subscription and they have to pay them before they can get delivered. Right. But back then, man, I had a little book with me, and I'd have to walk up and give you a receipt, and then I took my money and I had to pay my guy, and it was a joke, man. They did give us, though, I will say, they did give us these little like washers that were the same weight as a quarter, and so they told us anytime if you're short papers, go to the gas station, throw that in, get you some out of the machine, and wrap them up and throw them. Well, they work just as good in soda machines. So I was like, I had an extra handful of those. Soda.
They're slugs, right?
Yeah, they're just slugs.
So the poor Pepsi guy's taking it in the ass.
Yeah, sorry
you
about
rotten
that.
bastard.
If you found any of those in LaSalle, it was me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. There's probably some guy watching this like, I got 5 of those damn slugs.
Yep.
Mildred, we found the son of a bitch who got my job. It's that Josh Finley kid I told you was no good. I started off, I think my first job, I was at 91, somewhere around there. So $3.85 is what I made.
Okay.
But like I said, Mr. Clinton, maybe a bad human being, but he gave me, we got $4.25 in like 92. And I remember, as I was telling your daughter, I always thought to myself, if I get a job when I grow up making $10 an hour, I'm going to retire at that job. I'm going to have it made.
Amen.
Live in my big ass house with my 3 cars, $10 an hour. Woo.
You could retire.
Sweet as you, I thought.
Well, you could go in with $20 to a gas station, fill up your tank, a soda, maybe a candy bar, and you still had a little change.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Pack of cigarettes was like $1.50.
I didn't smoke, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Bag of weed was $20.
What's the little tablets they'd have back for truck drivers back then? The
logs?
No,
like the white crosses.
White crosses.
The black beauties.
You could get them at all the truck stops, and
Speed.
Equivalent to 2 cups of coffee, they say. But you could get them for $10 for
tall cups of coffee.
Yeah. Or his Colombian coffee, as I talked about. That's
it was shipped in coffee.
The imported coffee.
It's funny back then. You never think you're going to be old enough to tell those stories to younger people. Like, when I was your age, I made $4 an hour. And it was way back in the day. So, what is the minimum wage now, Gilbert?
$14.35, I believe.
That's madness.
Yeah.
Denver's got so the city and county of Denver's 18.
Really?
Yep. Because I work in Broomfield, and we're right on that edge. So ours is like I want to say it's $15.75 or something like that.
Yeah.
But Denver really threw a monkey wrench in this year and threw it to 18.
Wow.
So that's
what do you do? People got to live, I guess. You know. So,
absolutely. Yeah.
I hear you. All right. What did you think of that one?
I like that one. I got some questions, but I want to hear the next one.
Are you a fisherman?
Oh yeah.
I was as a kid a little bit. I never got too into. My grandfather tried to take me fishing, and we did this one time with the prize fish. I'd forgotten all about it till you brought it up. They used to be more popular. Do they do it anymore?
Oh yeah,
I'm sure.
Oh, do they?
Yep.
It's been forever, man. So that's funny.
We used to go up to Miracle Mile in Wyoming Memorial Day weekend, and this one year we went up, and it was I was in high school still, so I was I was by myself, but it was my buddy and his family and like 3 or 4 other families and all the kids and everybody got fishing license. Not everybody fished, but everybody got licenses, so we had enough to cover the fish that we had with us, and so we fished for 3 or 4 days, no big deal. deal. We left. We made our count. We made sure we had enough to, if we got stopped, we were good to go. And sure enough, there's a checkpoint at the end. There was right before you head back to Hannah, Wyoming, is where you got to go back to get out. But we pulled up, and they're stopping all the trucks and everything. Everybody gets out, and this guy comes over and he grabs the first truck, grabs the cooler out, and grabs like 3 fish, and he walks back to the truck. And then the next thing you know, there's 2 more officers up there, and they're looking, and we're like, oh boy, what's going on? And they were doing some kind of a tagging process for spawning.
Oh.
And so there were certain fish that were tagged right behind their head or whatever, and so they had to go and they cut those tags out so they could track their process. And then but we thought we were in trouble, we're like, oh god. And the guy comes back and says, no, we just got tagged fish, you guys are good, back on your way. But there for about an hour we thought, man, we're going to the pokey.
Oh yeah, dang.
Is it that serious?
Oh yeah. Oh boy, yeah.
Even back then it was.
You'll never fish again if you break a law. They'll take your license, you'll never fish again.
Really?
Guaranteed. Like if you don't have your second rod stamp or whatever the case is, it's a huge offense. You got more fish than you should. Like they'll fine you first, but like you do a major offense, you'll never fish in Colorado.
Yeah, you
again.
catch a short, special breed or species.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you it's got to be 16 and you pull a 14. Oh yeah, you're in trouble.
Are you shitting me?
No.
Oh yeah,
I had no idea.
it's a deal.
Oh yeah.
Or the big one is when you have too many.
Yeah.
Like so, if you they open your cooler and it's 2 dudes and you got like 37 fish. Oh yeah, you'll see some jail time on that deal, for sure.
Jail time.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What are you in for, buddy?
Too many fish.
We went up to the mountains during this time frame and they had unlimited count or catch up at on the other side of Rifle, and we went up there, and I bet you we pulled out between the 3 of us, my stepdad and my brother Tim and I. Oh, we probably caught 50 fish each that day.
Really?
Oh man, and we smoked them. So it was like, oh yeah, we put them in the smoker, and we had smoked fish for days.
Right.
Yep.
The Chinos, when I was growing up, we'd go to the 4th of July at their house, and they always got a bunch of rainbow trout, and they'd smoke those, man.
Yep.
Oh, so good, man.
Yeah. Oh, man. I love smoked fish.
I knew hunting was a big deal if you don't play by the rules, but I didn't realize fishing.
Oh,
is-
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
big time.
Yep.
Yep. I've seen guys like, especially my stepdad was a real big offender. He liked to fish from the bank. He'd have 4 or 5 poles in at a time and never even caring. We'd be out on the water and I'm getting the fuck away from you.
Yeah.
I've got my 2 rods and that's all I'm working. I'd usually throw one out with a bubble out here and then I use my fly rod on the other. And we'd usually be in belly boats or whatever. But like the game warden come by, he'd just knock those poles in the water. Like he'd just knock them down or he'd cut the lines or whatever.
Seriously.
Oh yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Because it's
That's
a deal.
hilarious.
Oh,
I
yeah,
had no clue, man.
And honestly, Fish and Game, they've got some power. Like they can pull you over if you've got your speeding, anything.
DUI.
DUI,
Yeah.
everything.
Forest rangers and they
Department of Wildlife. Yeah.
they have more power than the state patrol.
That is nuts, isn't it?
No.
I didn't know the person with the most power in the county is the coroner.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. He has the most authority. He can.
Okay.
Yeah,
They can
shut
put
shit
you
down.
under.
Ting,
He's just not
ting,
here
ting.
anymore.
That just blows my mind.
Yeah, man.
So when you go to prison for fishing violations, instead of a little teardrop, you get little fishies. Is that what
Yeah,
it does?
just
right
get a
there?
little goldfish on the side, a little Pepperidge Farm goldfish. Yeah, man, I'm hardcore. I had 16 inches.
Yeah.
Well, you learn something new every day,
Every
man.
day. Every day.
That's fucking nuts, man. All right, that was a great story, Gilbert. I'm gonna look that up. I wanna know what the law is, man.
It's a deal, brother.
It is.
Because
yeah.
you know what? I'll start snitching. That's how I get
I'm
down.
snitching. Snitches get stitches, bro.
That's what it is. I see that 4th pole. I see your 4th pole. I work with a guy who's the next Department of Wildlife guy.
Oh yeah.
And he was telling me that he had to go on like some drug busts and shit.
Oh,
like
for sure.
they call everybody in for that stuff. And he says he's there with his shotgun, man, just ready to kick in the door and start rushing in. I was like, man.
Yep.
My buddy, this kid that I went to the Miracle Mile trip with, he's kind of out there, but he used to go out to the Pawnee grasslands and he'd spotlight jackrabbits in the middle of the night. Well, they had reports they'd seen him out there, and so the Division of Wildlife was out there waiting for him, and they had glassed him, so he's out there, and they saw the spotlight, they figured out where he was at, and so he gets around back of him where he can't see him. He walked right up on the truck, tapped on the window. Step out of the vehicle, sir. He can't hunt in this state to this day. Yeah. Oh yeah. They took his guns. They took him to jail.
Wow.
Oh, it was a deal, man.
He was spotlighting what?
Jackrabbit.
Jackrabbits.
So it's at night, like the.
Yeah, middle of the night. It's not legal, folks. Don't do it. But they, for some reason, you hit them with a spotlight, and you just like glass it across the prairie. The eyes turn, and once they turn, they'll run right to you. And it's not sporting at all.
No,
not at all.
Who is it? God, these podcasts. This is episode 175, so some of these episodes run into each other. Like I remember a story, but I can't remember who told it, about camping somewhere, and they had like a fake buffalo or fake deer or something they would put out there, and the Department of Wildlife would sit there and watch it and wait for someone to shoot at it at night.
Yep, they do that a lot.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Who was that?
They've got some that they're actually robotic. They can move the head. They can make them go down to make them look like they're real.
Yeah, Kerry Coudron. It was Kerry Coudron that came on and was telling a story about and his buddy was going to shoot it, and they were like, "Don't do it, don't do it." And that Department of Wildlife, and it becomes like you made the right choice.
Mm-hmm.
They're ready to pounce on him.
I had a couple buddies that shot from their pickups.
Oh yeah,
really?
And he took his rifle at the time, and he just told him, "You're not getting that back, and be thankful that's all that I'm going to do to you."
Wow.
And he took his gun. I mean, there was no questions asked because the guy knew. He was like, "Oh yeah, I could have lost my license, never hunt again." Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think that guy just kept the gun.
Yep.
Got himself a brand new rifle.
Yeah. Well, he'd probably have to turn it in, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm sure that's how that
There's
went
no
down.
paperwork to trace that.
I have to have that thought.
There
is that person out there somewhere. But but no, it's or shooting off here. He was inside using the door, but the other guy was outside of it, but he was using the hood.
Mm-hmm.
Same
Can't do that either.
Same. Yeah, he got arrested. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't shoot across a roadway.
Nope.
I'm not a hunter either, man. So I'm not an outdoor guy. I like to shit in the toilet. That's my big thing. So
that's your wildlife experience.
no, that's why I don't go hunting or camping or any of that crap.
I like a running water and flush.
Yeah. I had a girlfriend one time who loved to camp. She's like, "We going camping?" I'm like, "I told you why I don't like to camp." She's like, "I have a camper there with the toilet." I said, "I'm gonna consider it now because I was a Boy Scout. I had to shit outside. You know what? Didn't enjoy it. I'm a truck driver. I gotta shit outside sometimes now. I mean, against my will at times, but I gotta do it." So that's why I don't do any of that stuff.
Yep.
So yeah.
Nope. I used to do it all, but now I decided to do pizza and other stuff. So yeah, it's not as much as I'd like to.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of these days when the brush emporium's a chain, and
Yeah.
a Bullhucker studio in every city in Colorado. That's right. Welcome to my CEO, Josh Finley. That's
Funded by Colombian Bam Bam.
and Zima.
The finest imported coffee.
That's right.
That's it.
Gilbert, by the way, saw the Zima on the shelf. He's like, "What's with the Zima?" And I go, "Josh Finley."
That's me, man.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, that was my go-to back in the day. The ladies love that.
Yeah.
Jolly Rancher.
Jolly Ranchers. You brought a bag of Jolly Ranchers, case of Zima. You're probably getting lucky that day.
Some Boone's Farm. So,
Yeah.
Might be some throw up before you get lucky, but yeah.
Hey, you look past those details, okay?
Purple Passion.
Oh God.
Oh,
They still
my
make
God.
that shit.
Yeah,
they
Mad
do.
Dog 2020.
Mad Dog 2020. But now they're spoiled. They have all these flavors.
Yeah,
Gilbert,
it's like what? Yeah.
grape and strawberry kiwi. That's all they
That
ever
was all
had.
I
That's-
had. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was bad then. So
Horrible.
yeah. Red, white, and blue. Remember that?
Yeah, you know what?
Not one beer tasted the same.
Here's what's going to
Wow.
happen. Next time you come on, Gilbert, I'm going to bring a bottle of Mad Dog. You, me, and Josh are going to drink that son of a bitch.
All right.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm going to need a ride home.
Can I call an Uber from brunch?
you can walk. You can crawl home. It's not.
I don't know. Mad Dog, you might not be able to crawl home either, man.
I'll call Dana. Be like,
You
"Hey,
might
pick
be
him
right
up.
here in the
He's-
bowels of the Emporium.
He's all high on the MD, baby. He's all high on the MD. So, all right.
Oh, my
Those are two great stories. Dryland surfing and prize fish. One left. We have hospital insulin.
All right. So yeah, this one wasn't as long ago. 2022? I got sick with. I got the COVID, pretty bad. I got. My fiance woke me up, or no, she didn't wake me up. She just. I got up. I wasn't feeling good. Took a shower, and she asked if I was hungry. I said no, and she wanted me to eat some eggs. I wasn't hungry, so I just laid down. I was just tired. And then all of a sudden, I wasn't like sleep, but I was resting, and she shook me, and she goes, "Come on, we need to go to the emergency room." I'm like, okay. I'm not going to argue with her because she would have beat me up at this point, So she said your oxygen level is 35.
That's insane, dude.
And
That's absolutely insane, Gilbert.
And so I'm like, at the time, I was like, I probably just didn't have the capacity in my oxygen in my brain to understand what exactly that meant. But I'm like, I knew I didn't feel good, so it's like, okay, let's go. And so I walked up the stairs, walked out to the car, got in the car. We went to the emergency room. I walked in the emergency room, and excuse me, I sat down where they check you in, and Dana tells the gal my oxygen level, his oxygen level is 35. She stood up and she's like, nurse. They took me back immediately into the ER, and they hooked me up, and they got me on oxygen right away, and they put the mask on, and there were some issues with like what do you call it, like the amount of oxygen that I needed to get myself back up to where I'm supposed to be with what the machines could produce and this and that. So I had I don't know, probably an hour and a half there while they were trying to get all this stuff sorted out, and my oxygen was coming up, but as soon as I took it off, it went right back down. So they're working on all these things, and there's so much happening I couldn't keep track of it, but I just know that I felt a little better, but I hear him talking about the helicopter, and the doctor said that it doesn't produce enough oxygen for what I needed, so they had to take me by ambulance, and they had to use the cannulus and the mask both to keep up with the amount of oxygen that I needed. So, well, that's fine. So they take me to the ER, or the ambulance to Greeley, and they unhook me, and they have this thing on my finger, oxygen O2 sensor, and but they had to transfer me from the ambulance to the hospital staff, and as soon as they unhooked me, this alarm went off, and nurse like, he's at 33. My oxygen dropped to 33. I'm like, I don't know, just give me some oxygen, I'll be fine. They get me back in there, and they wheel me in, and why this has taken so long, because this series of events was crazy just in the whole set, is I was pressured. I don't want to say pressured, but I kind of was pressured to do the ventilators. Put me on the vent.
To be incubated, not incubated.
Ventilator.
Intubated.
Intubated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, and so when COVID first started, I lost a brother that went on intubated, or what did you say?
Incubated. Intubated.
Not incubated. That's a different deal.
All of a sudden, it's like I can't remember the word. But anyway, I told Dana when I got there, I said, no matter what happens, if I pass out, I don't want to be intubated. I want to fight this on my own. I guess I'm not going to be able to argue what they put in my body, but I don't want that.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that the only reason I'm here is because I was able to tell them I don't want to be.
Not to do it.
Because if I wasn't able to talk, they would have just done it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was in there for 30 days. So I was in there for a while. And so all kinds of things in 30 days happened. Yeah. And so the craziest one, no, there's a couple crazy ones, but this is the craziest one. And so I don't know why, 2 o'clock in the morning, every frickin' morning, they come in to take blood, give me whatever they need to give me. So they wake me up every day at 2 o'clock, and maybe it was what I needed to, so I'm going through this process, and about 2 weeks into this, 2 o'clock in the morning, new nurse. I had so many nurses, it's not even funny.
Sure.
And I don't think all but maybe 2 of them were from different states. So this nurse that came in, I think he was from Georgia, if I remember correctly. And I remember him pretty distinctly because it was a very unique exchange of, because I haven't had anybody come in and give me a shot. I was getting shots in my belly every day for a long time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything. It was just the medicine that I needed for what I was dealing with. But this guy comes in, and I'm just used to them coming in at 2:00 now. So I'm waking up, I'm setting up, I'm got the mask on, and I said, "What is this?" And he goes, "I'm just giving you your insulin shot." I said, I took my mask down. I said, "What did you say?" "I'm here to give you your insulin shot." And I said, "I'm not diabetic." And he goes, "Yeah." We've been giving you an insulin shot for... I said, "I'm still alive. I'm not diabetic.
Yeah.
If I've been getting insulin shots, I would have done something more dangerous." And so there's a little bit of banter between us. I'm in the hospital bed. I'm not really able to,
defend yourself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm thinking, man, I used to read Robin Cook, the Dr. Robin Cook. He writes the medical mysteries. I'm like, I got a freaking story for this guy,
Yeah.
And that's the first thing that popped in my head. Is like, oh. So I go to this memory I have of this medical doctor writing these books, and I'm thinking, I said, "No, I'm not diabetic. I don't take insulin." And so I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do if he's just going to give me the shot. I'm not going to let him. I'm going to try to defend it. And I didn't have the call button right there, so I'm like, shit. Took 20 minutes of him coming in and out, and I'm like, I'm not taking the shot. I said, "You go get a doctor or whatever and have this discussion with them." But I'm going to skip tonight's shot, if you will.
Yeah.
And he was pretty upset about it, but he left. And I'm like really apprehensive about going to sleep. So I'm like, I sleep on pins and needles, but I did fall back asleep. So I wake up, the next round of nurses come in, and they're doing their stuff, and I'm waking up, and mind you, I have not had any food for 3 weeks.
Ugh.
Oh boy.
Because I have to be able to hold my own oxygen level without the provided, you know what I mean? So I have to be able to eat, and with just the cannulas, not the mask. So if I have the mask, I can't have any food. So I'm starving, and then I'm just, now I'm agitated because they're trying to give me insulin, and I'm appreciative of what was done for me, but I also was like, not happy about things that were, So the nurse comes in, "How was your night?" And I said, "It pretty much sucked. I was pretty unhappy." And she's like, "Well, what happened?" I said, "You guys don't know?" And she says, "Well, doctor's coming around in about 10 minutes. I guess you can tell her." And I said, "Yeah, that's fine." And doctor comes in, and we have this conversation. And I said, "Well, I'm pretty unhappy about your nurses trying to give me insulin." And pulls up a chart. She goes, "You're not diabetic." No shit. That's kind of my
what I
whole.
said.
Yeah.
And
Welcome to the conversation, Doc.
and she's like, "No, I think you're having a bad dream." She literally was going in this direction, and I'm like, I woke up thinking this about 4:00, and then I realized, and I reached over and I grabbed my where my tray is, where you put all your food and whatnot, and I picked up my towel, and there's the insulin, and there's the shot. That doctor grabbed it, walked out the room, and I'm like, "That's it? No other conversations about this or not?"
Yeah.
And not a word was spoken to me about it again.
Wow.
But I'd never seen that nurse again. So
Really?
yeah, I'm like, well, this really happened. I'm like, if I didn't have enough mental capacity to put that towel over that, so it would have been just out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I got up at 4, and I remember, so
No way.
yeah,
That's nuts. I remember when you got COVID.
yeah.
Because I had it, and Mom had it, and so we had one of those finger things. So Dana called me.
Oh yeah.
And said, "Hey, do you have one of those oximeters?"
Mhm.
What it's called. Oh yeah. So I gave it to her, and she checked it. She told me 35, and I was like, "I think you're reading it wrong."
Yeah.
Because they told me, like, if it goes below 90, once it hits 89, that's people panic. So I'm like, I kept thinking like she's reading it wrong or something's happening that's not right.
Yeah.
Then she told me I went to the hospital and they airlifted him, or they took him right away. They didn't even mess around. I thought, oh shit. So it was that's tough, Gilbert. You know, because I'd offered to haul you out of there, and she's like, no, I don't think she wanted anybody around it. You know what I mean? So
it was pretty bad. Yeah.
But I had already had it. I told her I already had it. So I mean, I was kind of the go-to person there for a while. And you remember why I got it?
Yeah. Oh no.
We did that cop show, the law enforcement comedy show.
Yeah.
And it was we brought in Alan Goodwin and Terry Barton Gregg, and had a free show for all the law enforcement in Morgan County. And I remember Rick Bain, the mayor at the time, telling me, "Should we be wearing masks? You think?" And I'm like, "Man, this is like November of 2020.
It's
like,
a COVID
this
party.
Shit's over, dude. It's we've all got sick. It's fine. I think we're fine." He goes, "I think you're right. Then we all got it, man.
Yeah.
It made the rounds." So and Monty got it. I think Loranda had it for a stint.
Yeah.
Dana, or you got it. I
Dana
got it.
and
Mom
I got it.
Yeah.
Same time. And
So it was kind of whoopsie. But I remember, she it was kind of scary with you, man. So I don't know, that's nuts, man. What do you think about that, Josh?
I'm with that one. You know my hospital story, man. And celery almost killed my ass. So I know how you can't tell them doctors nothing. They just like, you're fine. It's gas. Go.
Episode 3, by the way, I believe it is the celery story, which is a classic story, by the way. He almost died from a piece of celery, but that's here or there.
Yeah, they tried to send me home, man. They tried to say that you got indigestion. I'm like, sir, I've had indigestion. Like I felt like I've been stabbed. Like there's something not right. And they finally went in and found that, and then literally like could have killed me within hours afterwards, because I mean it already ruptured my lower intestine.
Oh my
gosh. This guy, I don't even know he's a nurse or what he is. He's in the ER. He's like, you got gas, go home, no problem. Like
I've had gas too.
Yeah. Believe me, my wife can attest. She's standing right here. She knows my gas. This is not gas.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
it's scary though. Mom got COVID. I took her 3 times in a week to the emergency room. It was nuts, dude. Like they kept saying, well, her blood oxygen's good, so she's got to go home. Like I can't. I don't know what to do, man. It was scary. It was a scary time, dude. I mean, I did not know. I said I don't know how to care for her, man. So I mean, please take her. And then it was crazy stuff, man. When I got it, I lucked out. I just had a horrible cough. Like I would cough until I almost pass out, though. Like I would almost I'd start blacking out, and I'm behind I'm in a truck.
Right.
I pulled over in between Akron and Otis, that little town.
Plantner.
Plantner, yes. Because I started coughing. I was like, oh shit, should I call somebody? I thought, nah. So I drove in the utility lane like 35 miles an hour back home to Morgan. Like thinking that way, I knew I could stop the truck.
It would be you could stop.
Hit those air brakes and just pass out if I had to or whatever. But man, it was a scary time, man.
Wow. Yeah.
Scary time. Yeah, I remember that, Gilbert. That was wild, dude.
Yeah.
So, did you get COVID?
I had it. Mine was very minimal. I woke up one morning and I was eating a cinnamon roll, and I was like, I can't taste this cinnamon roll at all. And so I told my wife, she's like, you're fine, because she at that time she was running a assisted living center, and she had 91 residents in her building. Not one resident died in the entire time she was there of COVID. Wow. They had a couple get infected, but not one resident died. And she's like, I don't think you just whatever, you're just hearing the news, blah blah blah. And I said, no, I seriously cannot taste this. And so I went in and I grabbed an orange Gatorade out of the refrigerator. I'm like, I just got done finishing the cinnamon roll. Drank the Gatorade. I cannot taste a thing. Like there's nothing there. And so I drove into Brighton, and they gave me the little swab and said, yeah, you got it. And the worst part of mine was literally like I had no appetite, whatever, but I slept for 8 days. Like I got up maybe an hour at a time, and I watched TV. I'd take a couple drinks of water, back to bed. Same thing. I didn't hardly eat a thing. Yep. I wasn't tired. I lost a lot of weight, but I mean, I had no energy at all. But that was mild symptoms compared to, I had friends die, man. That's
it was crazy stuff, man. I was dating Patty at the time, and she had like peppermint sticks and let's say cinnamon to smell, like what I mean. To always
see if you can smell it.
Yeah, because peppermint's so potent. You can. I can't remember what the other one was, but yeah, it's fine. I can smell it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I couldn't nothing. Couldn't taste, smell, zero.
It'd be easy to lose weight then because everybody tastes the same. So
Yeah.
you could literally eat a healthy lifestyle and not worry about it anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah.
I can have a steak, but it tastes like a piece of bread, so it doesn't,
Nothing, yeah.
whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Just texture.
Yeah, crazy stuff, man. All right, you got one of mine, Josh?
I do.
Do you really?
I do. Yep.
I kind of do too, but I think it's going to surprise you.
all right then.
So Gilbert, it's been a while, but we rock paper scissors to see which one of us has to guess first.
Okay.
How do you rock paper scissors? Do you 3 pump or 4 pump?
3.
Yeah, boy.
You're a 4 pumper?
No.
Oh,
We're all
Oh,
3.
threes,
Yeah,
okay.
we're all 3s.
Adam's a
Yep.
4.
Adam's a dirty 4 pumper. We got Densey too. Some bitch.
Yeah.
Get that extra pump in there.
And that's her argument is like, am I wrong for wanting one more? I go, yeah. How do I argue with that?
Yeah.
Nope.
Ready?
Ready? Oh.
Victory!
Dang
All right. Well, buddy, you got 3 great stories: dryland surfing, prize fish, and hospital insulin. What are you thinking?
You know, like I said, dryland surfing, I relate to that. It's something I did myself. We're relatively same generation. I definitely, I relate to that, so I can see that one. Prize fish, and this is what always gets me, is I always say, there's some details in there, and I'm not hearing some of the details I heard in the other stories, and that always screws me.
Right.
I've been here before. No.
So I'd like to say prize fish. I'd like to say that. That's the one I'm leaning to. Hospital insulin, once again, I relate to that. I can see that happening as well. There is one trick to that one that especially in this day and age where medications, and I'm in the assisted living side now, like there's such a huge regulation on all medications given and things like this that you hope you never see this. I can't say that it doesn't happen, but whether my heart tells me prize fish, I'm going hospital insulin. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I think the hospital insulin. See, I that one is my second to pick. I'm not going to pick it. Kind of for the same thing, but also I realized that during COVID, they were so overwhelmed. There was a small amount of. I mean, you had nurses from everywhere. You said so. They're pulling them wherever they could.
Yep.
So I could kind of see as to where these mistakes would happen. They're tired. They're burned out. So I mean, it was a crazy time for medical staff. So I'm going to think that one is true.
Okay.
Prize fish, I think, is a true story. I think that's a cherished memory. I'm going to go with dryland surfing, and here's why. I think it's not borrowed. I think it's not made up. I think it's embellished. I think that you probably did it. I think that Gilbert Lake is on borrowed time. But I think at the end when you kind of racked yourself, I think that's the embellished part. I think that was thrown at the end to make it a not true story. That's what I think. So
right.
I'm going to go with dryland. What are you going to go with?
I'm going hospital insulin, man.
Before you whip that over, we do this. We say thank you to the Brush Emporium. Thanks for giving us a place to have our podcast. They've been so gracious. Everything I've already said about it. And if you haven't been down here, what the hell are you waiting for, right?
Come on down.
Come on down. They have a great place where if you want to buy an original gift, come down here. It's all homemade stuff. It's all local vendors. They've given a place to do their wares. I say this, I've never asked you guys, but they can custom stuff too, pretty much, right?
Yeah,
like
pretty much any of them can.
Yeah, a lot of them. And if you ask anybody here, they can get a hold of them and make custom stuff for you. They have so much up there to choose from. Also, if you haven't eaten the food here yet, you just tried the pizza today.
It was excellent.
You're gonna get chicken wings on the way back.
Chicken wings for the ride home, baby.
Garlic pepper, man. That's I only eat. I used to love wet wings, man. I used to like the sauce wings, never dry rub until I had this guy's garlic pepper. Now that's all I eat. It's a damn garlic pepper. I tried nothing else. But the food's amazing here. Are you doing the frozen yogurt this year or no?
We're not. We're actually just doing soft serve. We tried the yogurt last year and it just didn't seem to go over in our community. So we're the soft serve's going over much better, and we're able to do so much more because we do our blenders now with the different Oreo or the Butterfinger or whatever mixed in, blended in with them.
Oh, very nice.
Yep. So, and that seems to be a better hit than the yogurt was.
Like almost a blizzard then.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a blender.
It's a blender, buddy. You can't blizzard.
Dairy Queen. The queen don't fuck around. She come after the Brush Emporium, right?
She ain't got no blender, baby. No blender.
But they have so many great things here. The pasta, the wings, the sticks, pizza, obviously. What else do we have here?
There's, we've got the
games,
baked ravioli.
Yeah.
We do the mac and cheese bites. We're trying to bring up new things, constantly just to kind of keep it fresh, but also trying to keep prices as low as we can. I know during this economy, boy, I tell you, it's everything's going up.
Right.
But I take a little bit of pride in our. Our Huntsman's over a 5-pound pizza, but it can feed 4 people.
Yeah.
That's a 5. What is that? $6.50 a person.
Yeah.
For a meal.
Easy.
That's a good price.
Awesome. We talked earlier. Every time you go to McDonald's, and get a combo. It comes to $15 now.
Yeah.
I mean, and also, if you come down here, you're supporting local families.
Right.
Yep.
This money stays in the community. So, and they still do have the games upstairs,
Yes.
right?
Yep. And we brought in some new ones. We got cribbage and. Backgammon, I think, is up there. Yeah, we're just bringing in new ones just to kind of, come and hang out.
Come hang out and have an old school family night with the kids, right?
Right.
Get them away from the PlayStation 5. Come down here, kick their asses some shoots and ladders. I mean, show them how old school mom and dad are, right?
Yeah, baby.
And bingo. We still doing bingo.
Yes. And next one will be Tuesday because, of course, last night everybody lost power here, so we couldn't operate. So
that's pretty wild. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's no fun. I didn't lose power because I get cranky with the air conditioning goes off. My thick ass. But anyway, if it's 210 Clayton Street, please support the people who support this podcast. If you love this podcast, support them. They're the reason we're here. So, because I got tired of setting up and breaking down every time. So, this podcast wouldn't have made it this long without these people. So, thank you so much, Gilbert, for everything.
Of course.
All right. Now that we got all our whoring done, as I say, I'm taking dryland surfing. You're taking hospital insulin.
Yes,
Let's
sir,
check out
I
that
am.
board.
Oh my god!
God! He beat us both. We picked different ones. That's hard to do, man.
Yeah,
I
that's what
second guessed myself.
Yeah.
What's not true about that price fish?
The amount.
How much was it?
The 2,500. It was 500.
$500.
That's still good money back in the day, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That still buys you a steak, some booze, and maybe 2 tires for your boy.
Yeah. It was. I did get the $10 tag.
Yeah.
And because these fish, they put it in their upper fin, their top fin, and they're colored, and they've got the number on it. And there was 5, there was 10. I believe there was a few 50s, but the 500 was the checkered flag, and that
End of the tournament.
Yep.
I just had a wicked thought. Do you know who Kathleen Madigan is, the comedian?
Oh yeah.
She's got this great joke about alien abductions, why we don't believe people when they tell us, because she says we do it to fish all the time. The fish is like, I saw this hook, and all of a sudden I'm with these people, and they put me back. They also do that to humans. The aliens supposedly tag you. They put stuff in you. I wonder if they're having some kind of weird, like Gilbert's walking around with the new spaceship tagging him. You know what I mean? Like whoever fights Gilbert gets the spaceship. You know what I mean?
Hey, there you go.
Aliens don't put it behind the fin, though.
Yeah. Where do they?
I don't know. That's the stories I've heard, man. I've never been picked up by aliens, but I've heard the same story, right?
If you want to laugh at a free colonoscopy, I guess we can do that, okay, Mr. High and Mighty.
Well, you never hear an alien be like, he put it in my finger, he put it in my mouth, he put it in my eye. It's never that, right? Never. Not one story says that.
No, it's usually rectum.
Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe the first person they picked up liked that, and they're like, oh, this must be what they get into. This is like their handshake. So now that person has doomed the human race.
Right.
Now everybody takes in the pipe.
That's what there's something about that story. There's never a different story. I was picked up on a road somewhere, but it always ends up in that story, right? No matter what happens. So yeah, you might be tagged.
Yeah,
some people might be
it's
tagged
possible.
Let's hope
Anything's
Should we check the checkered flag?
The checkered flag.
It's behind the ear.
That's what it is. We'll hit about our time. Gilbert, it's good to finally have one of you guys on here.
Yeah.
We've been down here for so many episodes, man. Almost
smoked us both.
Yeah, God, that's hard to do too, man. I was pretty convinced. Oh, we didn't get into it. So dryland surfing is a true story.
Dryland surfing is a true story. Greg Meyers and I were down here in Brush, and absolutely climbing back in the pickup. But you'll have to talk to him about it. But I purposely got back in the pickup to change the radio station because I did not like the song that was on. So
that sounds like a drunken move too.
That's exactly what it was. And my kids are going to see this and they're like, "Oh God, Dad, we never knew that about you." There's a lot they don't know about.
That's a mulligan they get on something stupid they do.
I've heard some stories of theirs, and I'm like, I don't even want to tell them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God, that's it. Hold my beer.
Yeah.
No, don't.
Exactly.
And I mean, yeah, some of these, it's like, oh God, now how about initiation college? It's like, oh no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay clear.
This is before they could sue you for everything. This is before
Right.
everybody treated you like an alien. Horrible. So,
Yeah.
and then hospital insulin is a true story.
Yes. Yep. How I told it exactly, pretty much how it happened. I mean, there was so much. I just had to kind of time it down to there, but the doctor was a little shocked, and I think she might even said, "Oh shit," when I pulled the towel up, and because once I realized that he'd left it, I put my towel and I moved the food cart or my table, whatever,
Right.
back to my left, so it was away from the door, because I was like, I don't want somebody to come back in and give it, to me again or anything, and but when I woke up at 4. And I just had to make sure it was there, and I'm like, oh, there is a needle and there is a vial. I'm like, oh, and I wanted to tell somebody that had some authority. I didn't want to. I mean, and some of the nurses were godsends. I mean,
God bless them.
I mean, I was pretty depressed. I was pretty. What do you call it? Like when you're
funk.
yeah, you're fatigued. You can't see anybody. I mean, you can talk. I mean, but you can't even really talk because you got this damn mask on. You can't hear anything.
Right.
But nurse advocated for me to get me some food, and I mean, they have that scale on the bed, and like he's lost like 12 pounds since he's been here.
Right.
And the group of doctors said as long as he can eat with the nose cannulas in it, he can eat, but if his oxygen drops, he can't. And they tried it, and I couldn't. I mean, my oxygen, it was at this time, it was with the mask, and at one time I had both. I had the cannulus and the mask to keep me up over 90, and then finally I was just able to go to the mask. And when they gave me, what was it, with the mask coming off the first time we tried it, it was, I think it dropped to like 80s, and they're like, nope. So the nurse took it upon herself. It isn't going to hurt me. I drink I drink so much water. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
She came in, oh gosh, 2 or 3 times this day where I was just, that deflated me not being able to get any food, and she brought me chicken broth, and
Probably tasted like heaven.
oh, it was
Well, if you could
probably to this day. That's probably the best thing I've ever had. I mean, just because it was
Sustenance.
I can tell you, I got so much better from that moment. That chicken broth, it's all it was. I mean, it seems so simple, but to somebody in that position, the fluid, I ate 3 days later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's, you can't, they're doing their best.
I
get
know.
it, but man, there's just,
But when
you have loved ones in there, you got to worry a little bit about it, and you ask a lot of questions. And don't be afraid to ask questions. I do. When I take my mom or uncle in, I ask questions.
I give all the credit to Dana for saving my life, because if she let me go to sleep that night, I won't be here. I wouldn't be here, because I mean, I was exhausted, and my oxygen was at 35 when she checked me. If I would have slept for 2 hours, my oxygen would have dropped. I would have just went peacefully, but I wouldn't have woken up. I mean, she told me, I didn't see it. My nail beds were purple. I mean, there was, there was none of that. And I'm like, I don't know. I was tired. That's like, okay. So
I remember, I slept a lot too. I mean, but you know what the wildest thing was about COVID? Because they gave me the 2 weeks off. I got better in the first week. The second week spent with mom because she got it. But for that end of that first week, the nicest thing about COVID was I didn't have to be anywhere. I wasn't expected anywhere.
No,
I could just literally not worry about shit.
Yeah.
As weird as that sounds,
yeah,
it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I had, and I work for an amazing company, but I had these flashes of, oh God, how am I going to keep my job? It's like, and my owners are amazing, and they're blessings from God, in that sense. And Dana texted him, and it's like he's really worried about this, and they just said, "Get better. You know, your job's not going anywhere." And but Dana would check daily with the nurse station, and this was during my divorce. So my ex was trying to get the information, and I'm like, no, Dana's the one that needs the information, because and the nurses are not only battling the patients, they're getting the families, and they're they're doing a hell of a job. I'm going to give out a shout out to all of them, because mistakes happen, but I mean, I just, God, sometimes you can help a mistake, and I feel like I did. I helped a mistake, and the nurse, I don't want him fired or anything. You just maybe, check that paperwork a little bit. It's not from day one. I mean, that they all thought I was diabetic. I mean, that's the one thing that and there was just nothing there. I mean, my brother had diabetes, and he passed away during COVID, but that was the only conversation I had with any doctor, is my brother had diabetes. I never had it, and all the tests showed that I didn't have it. But it's like, it terrified me, and I mean, still to this day, I wake up sometimes thinking, where's the insulin? I'm like, I'm out of the hospital. So
that's scary shit, man.
Yeah,
but one more time, to be devil's advocate, that was a crazy time in the world. Man.
Yeah,
oh man.
And those medical professionals were ran ragged. I remember taking Mom and Ed, and Ed got it too pretty bad. And you could just see how tired they were, how worn out they were. And they just
they were working for everybody on the planet pretty much, know. And I was never knocking them. I was one of the mistakes that potentially could have been fatal, and I wasn't, and thank God. But I do know that when you're tired, mistakes do happen, and that 100%. And I make mistakes, and
me too.
But no, I'm alive because of medical staffs today, so I'm not knocking them by any means. I just mistakes happen, and this is one of them.
Right. Yeah, crazy.
So, yep.
All right. Well, we hit about our time. Hey, Gilbert, it's awesome to have you on finally, man.
Yeah,
you're just such a busy dude, man.
Oh, man. Yeah. It'll slow down someday.
Yeah.
Someday.
I'm almost done remodeling the bathroom. No, start on the laundry room. Oh, wait. I guess I'm not going to slow down.
No, never. You guys got a brand new house, too. So well, it's not brand new, but it's...
Well, it was built in 1900s.
Newish to you.
Yeah.
So you got to do all you got to put your touch on it. So yeah. All right, Gribble, thank you so much.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Josh, thanks for coming back in, bro.
Glad you had me, man. Thanks for having me here.
So it's good to have Josh Finley.
That's awesome.
He's got a story for everything. He's worse than I am. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. It's great to be back. We're going to be back for a while. So I'm Moose Lundstrom.
I'm Josh Finley.
Hey, we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.